2025, the year Africa's democratic landscape was tested. Some chose new futures, others locked in old ones, and for others, their ballots were allegedly swallowed by bullets.
How can Africa move beyond just voting to holding elections that truly deliver the expectation of the people?
Take the example of Malawi that saw incumbent President Lazarus Chakwera ousted by former President Peter Mutharika over what many called a protest vote against years of high inflation, crippling fuel shortages, and a deepening cost of living crisis. Mutharika clinched the presidency with 56.8% of the vote to Chakwera's 33%, turning what might once have seemed like a comeback bid into a sweeping mandate for change. Elsewhere in the coastal archipelago of Seychelles, the tide also turned, with opposition leader Patrick Hamini ousting incumbent President Wavel Ramkalawan with 52.7% in the October runoff. Voters fed up with corruption and a luxury hotel project threatening a UNESCO-listed reef handed the keys to Hamini, only the second peaceful power swap the islands have ever seen. In Central Africa, Gabon voted in its first executive election since a 2023 military coup ending 50 years of rule by the Bongo political family. General Brice Oligui Nguema recorded a landslide victory with 90.3% of votes cast, defeating 7 other candidates. Still on transitions, Togo had an overhaul in its governance system that ended presidential elections and introduced a parliamentary system that in essence saw the Togolese leader Faure Gnassingbe sworn in as president of the Council of Ministers, which has no fixed term limit. Yet amid the relatively calm transitions, other corners of the continent erupted into raw, high-stakes showdowns, with veteran presidents staring down defiant opposition leaders. In Cameroon, 92-year-old President Paul Biya won a controversial 8th term in a fiercely disputed election. The election was marred by deadly violence, and hundreds of opposition leader Chiroma Bakari's supporters defied protest bans in several cities and clashed with security forces. In East Africa, Tanzania's October 29th presidential election saw Samia Suluhu Hassan declare the winner after a tense campaign period. Several opposition parties faced restrictions, and their leaders encountered legal challenges, drawing criticism from civil society groups. The results prompted demonstrations in Dar es Salaam and Arusha, during which casualties and arrests were reported. Samia was sworn in on November 3rd as regional observers noted concerns about aspects of the electoral process. Following a similar playbook, Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara's campaign triggered sporadic pre-election protests, prompting the government to ban demonstration and arrest hundreds of people. Ouattara won re-election to a 4th term by a landslide. Then came Guinea-Bissau, where the vote unraveled overnight. On November 26th, army officers seized power a day before the Electoral Commission was set to release the presidential results. Major General Horta Inter was sworn in as transitional president the next morning, freezing the process. The military has since tightened control, banning protests, strikes, and all public dissent. Incumbent President Umaro Embalo, who was expected to retain his seat, fled to Brazzaville and the Republic of Congo. And to close off the year, the Central African Republic will hold its general elections on December 28th, marking a crucial test for the nation's stability as incumbent President Faustin Touadera seeks a controversial 3rd term. Well, the dust has now settled from yet another turbulent political year in Africa. However, it remains evident that Africa's democratic story is still being rewritten, and the next chapter is already on the horizon.